Welcome to Garden Delights. I'm Susan Howington, Family Consumer Science Agent with the Henry County Cooperative Extension, partnership with the University of Georgia Extension. Today we're going to talk about sugar snap peas, and you're going to hear from Frank Hancock, our Agriculture and Natural Resource Agent, and he's going to tell you more about how to plant those peas. So when we come back, we're going to talk just a little bit more about those peas, and we're going to be making a sugar snap pea with chicken. See you back in just a little bit. Welcome back to Garden Delights. Today we're going to be talking about sugar snap peas, and let me tell you, you're going to want to put this on your list the next time you go to the grocery store because you're going to want to buy some of these. You know, when I'm buying peas, I love to buy them when they're fresh, and you can buy sugar snap peas when they're frozen, but it's nothing better than buying them when they're fresh. And when you're looking for them, make sure that you're looking, for the whole pea when you're buying it. Look through the whole bag, when you're buying it. Look at everything because that's going to be important. But what's even better about this sugar snap pea is all the nutrients that's so good about it. It is loaded with vitamin C, but it has some A and K in it. But vitamin C, it's like almost 100%. So if you're looking for something with vitamin C in it, try sugar snap pea. Not only that, but about a cup of this, it will be about 41 calories. So you can say if you want to eat 2 cups of sugar snap peas, that's only 81 calories. So you can't beat that. It is also great in fiber. So if you're looking for a pea that is good in fiber, a sugar snap pea will be what you're looking for. It is loaded with fiber. It is also loaded with iron and also other nutrients. But the thing that I want to make sure you realize that, we're looking for that low sodium, that no cholesterol, and no saturated fat. That's what you're looking for in a sugar snap pea, and that's what you're going to get with the sugar snap pea. So just remember that. That's what makes it so good. And we're always looking for a source for fiber, and you can't beat a sugar snap pea with that part of it. Now let's talk about selection. I was telling you, you need to look in the bags when you're buying it. Look through the whole bag, because even if it has a date by it, go through the bag and look at it, because you want to make sure all those sugar snap peas are really looking good, has a good green look to it. You don't see any yellow coloring, because all that is important when you're looking for it. And if you can buy them loosely where you can pick your own peas out, that's even better, because when you're going to stir fry like we're going to do today for the recipe, you can look and realize that these peas are made pretty flat, and they even stir fry really good if you're looking for the flat part of it. And you can eat them raw too, so that's one good thing about the sugar snap pea. You don't have to cook them, you can eat them raw. Now storage, they really, really need to be ate the day that you purchase them. But if you can't eat them the day that you purchase, think about maybe 3 days at the max in the refrigerator in some kind of bag container. Also in your crisper section of your refrigerator is where you want to put the peas. But I really recommend that you cook them the day of, because they're going to be the crispy part of it. And that's what you're looking for when you're selection part of it. You want to make sure that it's that bright green, that plump look, that crisp look. That's all important when you're selecting those. Now, storing it, is important, because you don't want to prolong it. The longer you prolong, you have a chance of the peas becoming moldy. And you don't want to purchase something and spend your money on it and then they're no good. So just keep that in mind. Now, when we prepare these, we know that once we buy these sugar snap peas, if they're loosely, especially, other folks have touched them with their hands, so we do want to make sure that we wash them, and of course all these have been washed. But one thing I do want to recommend, if your sugar snap peas, if they look like they have a sharp edge to them, and these are very, very tender, and this is some of the best time to buy these, look at the ends, and if it looks like it's got a little prickle look to it or a little point to it, it looks kind of like it could not be as good when you're going to stir fry or cook them or steam them, however you're going to cook them. You may want to just take some scissors or take your fingernail and just nip that little end off, because it's not going to hurt the pea, but it does make it where it's not catchy as far as when you're eating. Now, I'm not going to do that today because most of mine look pretty good. They don't have any points on them that I think that I need to take off, so I'm going to use as is. But that is something you might want to consider when you're picking out your sugar snap peas. So we come back, we're going to hear from Frank Hancock, and he's going to tell you how to hopefully grow those sugar snap peas and tell you all you need to know. And then we come back from that, we'll have a recipe ready to go. So we'll see you back in just a little bit on Garden Delights.
Okay, today we're going to talk about the sugar snap peas. There's several varieties of peas. They're cool season crops. English peas are cool season crops. They pretty much have to be shelled. Snow peas have got edible pods. They don't develop quite the pea that a sugar snap pea does. The sugar snap pea has an edible pod. The grain in that pod runs all in the same direction. They're easy to eat, easy to chew. You pick them before the pea gets too large and just eat the whole thing. A lot of people have trouble getting back to the house with them after they pick them because they just stand out there in the garden and eat them. I've got a couple here that we started inside because the weather's been a little bit cold. You're going to plant these in the cool season. We'd like for the soil temperature to be up about 45 degrees. It's a little bit colder than that here today, probably in the 35 range or somewhere in that area. So I'd really want to wait another day or two, but since we're filming today, I don't have any choice. We're going to plant them. We'll see what happens. So I'm planting these in a container. You can plant them in the garden any way that you want to. They need a trellis. These that we're planting here today are Sugar and they are a lower growing variety. They're not going to get more than 3, maybe 4 feet tall. So I built a little bit smaller trellis to put around them, but they do like to climb, and some of the varieties will get on up 5, 6 feet tall. So you'd probably want to use something like your tomato cage. It's got plenty of room to reach in and pick to grow some of those other varieties. I'm going to plant some in this planter here. The peas just kind of look like peas, and we're going to plant them about a 1/2 inch deep, and I'm going to maybe 1 inch deep. But I'm not going to plant these too deep because my soil is a little bit cold today. So I'm just going to get them put in here good. This is some composted material that we're planting them in, so should make a pretty good seed bed. Sugar peas are legumes, so they don't need a lot of nitrogen fertilizer. They're capable of producing their own nitrogen. Now I'm putting them inch and a half apart as I go around here, and we won't get them in here too close to the ones that we've already got coming up. And so that's kind of what you'll do with them, is just plant them around about 1 inch or so apart. They'll come up. They're pretty hardy. Like I say, they like the cold weather. But I'd like for my soil to be 45 degrees plus before I actually get them set out. So then I made me a little trellis here. I just measured around the inside of this pot and cut me a piece of wire that length. I like to use hog ring pliers. I know all of you got a set of hog ring pliers. You know, it's what you use to put rings in your hog's nose to keep him from rooting. So I know you got a pair of these around. If you don't, you can get them at the hardware store. They're used in fencing, probably today more so than they are in raising hogs, but they still call them hog ring pliers. So you just take that, and as you bring your wire together over here, you just squeeze that together and it holds it together. So I don't have to twist all the ends and things like we do on these heavy-duty tomato cages. I can also use them to build these tomato cages and save me a lot of trouble. So once I put my little trellis together here. I'm just gonna come in, I've measured it to fit the diameter of this pot so I can work it down in the soil here a little bit so it doesn't want to turn over as they start growing. This mesh right here is a little small. I can't reach through and pick my plant, so I took it and I just cut in the center of it here so I can reach in here now and pick my plants, and I can put another hole wherever I want to. This is probably cheaper, and for a variety like Sugar Ann that's going to grow fairly short, I don't need to use up one of my tomato cages to grow it in, so I'll just improvise a little bit with this cage. So they should grow. They are like most of your vegetable crops. They like a 6 to 6.5 pH. They grow in the cool season. When it gets hot, they're going to quit. So you got to get out there right now and get them planted so you can have some. If you wait too late, they're not going to want to do well. So that's pretty much. These sugar snap peas have been around since the 70s. They're not a real old pea. Now your regular peas have been around since the Romans were roaming around. In fact, I think Columbus brought some here when he came over, but not sugar snap, because sugar snap's only been around since the 70s, where we got those really good edible pod peas that, like I said, you won't make them back to the house but with about half of them when you start picking them. So sugar snap peas may be the only variety that you need to grow, because you can let them get a little bit older and you can shell them, get the peas out of them, or you can eat them when they're younger. And the more you cut them, the better they do. Okay, so like I said before, you may not make it back to the house with them because you're going to eat them. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go in and see what Susan is fixing with sugar snap peas.
Today we're talking about sugar snap peas, and we're going to be making sugar snap peas with chicken. And I have done a little bit ahead of time on the recipe. I have already cooked my chicken. You're going to need about 2 chicken breasts, and on the average about 1 pound. So when you're buying your chicken breasts, you need about 1 pound. When you're cooking your chicken, I found that for this recipe, the chicken needs to be cut pretty thin as far as little strips. And I feel like when I'm cutting chicken and it's at room temperature, when you're cutting it, when you're out there cooking it, it seems to not cut as easy. So what I like to do is I froze my chicken just a little bit, not solid, just enough to get it a little bit of stiffness to it. And it makes it a lot easier when you're going to slice your chicken to get that thin layer of a strip. So if you can see this is a very thin slice of chicken. Now what I did is I had 1 tablespoon of olive oil, or you can use canola oil, and today I use canola. And you're going to add your oil to your pan. You're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to your chicken. And then also I added 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce to it. And so I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a little Asian taste. So if you like Asian food, you're going to like this. So I stir fry my chicken. It is done. And I wanted to let you know that this part is already done. So when you're looking at the recipe, the chicken has already been put together for this recipe. Now the next part that we're going to be doing is we're going to cook our sugar snap peas, and we're going to stir fry them also, and then we're going to add the chicken back to the sugar snap peas, and they'll cook with it, and then you'll finish up. Very, very easy, very simple, very quick. If you're looking for something simple, get home. It doesn't take it long. If you cut your chicken real thin, it's going to come out quick, easy. Cooking it, and you'll be ready to put your meal together. Now, we're just going to have sugar snap peas with chicken, but if you wanted to go further to make a meal out of this, you could add a starch like your rice or noodles, whatever you like. But today we're going to keep it pretty simple, and we're just going to have it with the chicken and the sugar snap peas, which I really like because I feel like I'm not eating as heavy. And so you could add some fruit to it, and you would have a perfect meal. So I'm going to go ahead and start my hot pad up so we can cook. And we're going to start off with it on a very high temperature because you want to stir fry it pretty quick. And the sugar snap peas only take about 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. And so they're not going to take that long, and you want them crispy. You don't want them limp. So I'm going to go about that long, and they're going to be ready to eat. So to start this off, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil to my skillet. And if you're really trying to watch your oil, you could even do less than that if you really wanted to. But I'm going to add a little bit of oil. And then I'm going to add some garlic. And I have about 2 cloves of garlic for this part. And I also use 1 clove of garlic for the chicken because I really think that it really helps with all this with this. So we're going to add this. Let's see if I can get most of it out. See if I can use my back end of my spoon because I really want my garlic. Oh, and it's smelling so good if you could just smell it. And then what I'm going to do now is just stir this around. I'm going to go ahead and add my 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. And it's like a browning sauce. It's just going to add a little taste to it. It doesn't have any MSG in it, and it's very low in calories. The only thing, if you're watching your sodium, you'll probably want to do a little different on that part. It's maybe even adding less. I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar snap peas. And this is about 3 cups of sugar snap peas, so I'm going to go ahead and start stirring them around. And you can see they're already getting coated with the oil. And I'm going to add a little pinch of salt with it because I've already salt and peppered my chicken, but now I'm going to do just a little bit to the sugar snap peas because I want them to blend in with the chicken. And as I said, 1 to 2 minutes and about 3 cups. And what you're looking for is you're looking for that bright green color. And you know, to me, when you put a vegetable in some heat, I love that bright green color, and it's just telling me it's almost getting done. So what I'm going to do, for about 1 minute or so, I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken to it. And you could do your chicken the night before if you wanted to, because that would speed everything up. And I'm going to stack these as I go. But doesn't this look good already? And it smells really, really good. And all I'm doing is heating this up. I'm heating the chicken up and getting it combined with the sugar snap peas. And they are almost done. You can see they have a beautiful bright green color. And they're going to be just enough heat to them, but they're going to be really crispy and really good. I'm going to stir them around just a little bit more. Doesn't this look good? I smell the garlic. The oyster sauce just gives it a kind of an Asian taste. And I think I'm about done. That's about my 2 minutes. And I just want to make sure my chicken is warm enough also. And because it's already done, so it's not going to be where I don't need to go any further. So you can see, oh, it smells so good. You could just be here. It smells so good. All right. I think that is a done deal. I'm going to cut this off. As we look at this, doesn't that look good? Put this on your list to buy some sugar snap peas the next time you're at the grocery store. When we come back, Frank's going to come and taste our sugar snap peas with chicken. And I have to tell you, he's already nibbled on a raw one earlier, so he already knows what we're having today. So, but we'll see you back in just a little bit on Garden Delights. We have Frank with us, and we're going to try our sugar snap peas with chicken.
You know, this looks like a serious meal here. I'm ready.
It is serious, and you
ready.
know,
yeah,
you're going to love it. I hate to say it, but you're going to love it.
Just put some on this plate right here, we'll see.
Let me give you a little bit more of my sugar snap peas.
Those sugar snap peas are good. I ate one this morning before y'all got ready to get going,
I told on you also.
and it was good.
It may be hot, so watch out. It's got a little Asian twist to it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think?
This is good.
That's good.
This is real good.
I didn't want it to be too hot. Very good. Very, very good. Peas are sweet. Got a good flavor to them. Chicken good.
Mm-hmm.
Tender.
I'd say something too, but I got my mouth full.
I see it right here on TV. Recipe is on the website. Check it out. I know you want to put it onto your box next time, your recipe box. Easy to make, good nutritional meal for your family. We'll see you next time on Garden Delights.
You know, these are not the same kind of peas that Jack climbed up.